Hello, 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 everyone. It is Tuesday. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Time with Dr. Sasheen. I am your host of the podcast Women in Transition and of Tuesday Tea Time. So, welcome to the Tuesday Tea Break. It is the Thanksgiving edition, pre-holiday craziness edition. It is time to breathe and release edition, right? Like it's going to be a crazy travel week, a crazy week for a lot of people, despite best efforts to tell us that people aren't going to be traveling. They're not going to be. I was in the store yesterday. People are buying stuff for meals for the Thanksgiving holiday. Excuse me, like crazy. So, let's take a moment to breathe out. Let's take a moment to inhale and exhale to carve a little piece of peace in our good morning, Carolyn. It's good to see you. A little piece of peace in our week because the week is already picking up steam. It's even picking up steam more so today as most everyone, I know for me at least, we're done with the week work wise. So everybody is kind of on their last work day. They're scrambling to figure out what they're gonna do, or maybe not scrambling. I don't know. Like I said, I was in the grocery store last night and people were in there buying stuff for dinner for this week. So excuse me. So I felt, especially as I was in the grocery store, watching people like load their carts with pie crust and stuffing fixins and all kinds of stuff. Like it's there is a sense of urgency to this holiday that I don't think I've realized that I've really seen in a while. And I think it's because people are just looking for they're looking for something to hang on to in what's been a really tough year, right? A really tough year. Good morning, Cicely. It's good to see you. And so I think the reason it felt so frenzied at the grocery store last night was A, because people shop at the last minute anyway, but also because I think a lot of people just weren't sure if they were even going to do anything for Thanksgiving, right? I don't know that everyone was on board with the idea of breaking bread together this time of year, given the state of the state of the states, right? The state of the states, the state of the world. But as I was perusing through the grocery store last night, and my son and I were picking up a few things which had nothing to do with Thanksgiving and everything to do with the fact that we were just out of some basic stuffs, I realized that this was going to be a week where more so than anything, we're going to need to lean into joy and to lean into protection of our peaceful boundaries because there were some folks who were a little edgy at the grocery store last night. Might have been because it was raining, so it was wet and it was crazy chaos. Well, and I'm sure it's going to be worse today, right? I'm sure it's going to be worse today. But and we have to go out. But we don't, I mean, we're just going to the drugstore. But we're just going to lean into our boundaries today. So around tea time, I'm erecting a barrier that says, this is our space. This is our time to relax. And what are we drinking this morning? So it's chilly here. Not as chilly as it has been, thank heavens. But we've had rain. So I'm a little in the throat. So I'm having hot chocolate this morning. In fact, I went ahead and bought a whole like case of them because I love hot chocolate anyway in the winter. And I like this taste. It's interesting. I was discussing mushroom coffee with another friend, and we were just discussing, I don't like coffee, so this is never going to be my thing. But one of the things that we were talking about is that mushroom is everywhere, right? Everybody's got a mushroom based something. And the reality is, there are a lot of different mushrooms in the world. And because of that, I don't think people really take into consideration that just because you try something and it doesn't work for you doesn't mean that thing itself is bad. It could just mean that the version of mushrooms in that thing is just not a version of mushroom that agrees with you. There are a lot of mushroom based things out there now. Mushrooms finding its way into all kinds of things, but because no one's actually having conversations about the kinds of mushrooms that are in some of these things, and people don't really talk about the ways in which mushrooms can interact on people, I just think we have to be cautious as we embrace the mushroom craze, that we make sure that we know what mushrooms we can take and we can't. And this came up because the coffee, one was the coffee, but also I was given early in my HRT journey, I'm on hormone replacement therapy. Early in my HRT journey, um, I was put on a supplement, estrogen, I think it's what it's called. And it was the I think it was the multi symptom one. Anyway, the first ingredient, the main ingredient in estrogen and also in Black Girl Magic vitamins, their Minichill, is this enzyme derived from mushrooms, right? And it begins with an R. It's RHIZ. I can't pronounce it. I'm not gonna spell it right. If I find it, I'll post it. But anyway, um, that particular enzyme derived from a natural source, the mushrooms, right, gives me heart palpitations. Gives me heart palpitations. And I didn't know that because I've eaten mushrooms my whole life without heart palpitations. But this particular enzyme that is distilled out for its properties of helping women going into in perimenopause with hot flashes and night sweats and things like that, this particular enzyme does not work well for me. Does that mean I can't have mushroom based things? No. But I think it begs a really good conversation that we as Gen X women in this phase need to have about some of the things that we take that are supposed to be good for everybody. We don't know they're not good for us because we don't know exactly what it is that's in the ingredients. And it was only a conversation with my doctor where she's like, okay, it's probably this ingredient in this particular supplement that is causing. And when I'm talking heart palpitations, I was like, listen, I did not just run a mile. So I don't know what's going on here, but I did not just run a mile. So it was really important for us to figure out what it was, what the ingredient was that was causing me to have issues, right? I drink a mushroom based hot chocolate. Not the only hot chocolate I drink, but I drink one, never have an issue, doesn't even bother me. I saute mushrooms in the house. We eat mushrooms in my salad, not a problem. But not every mushroom is created equally. And I think in the new year, we really want to think about the things we're putting into our bodies, especially because the push for all the new things, like I'm not doubting Black Girl vitamins or estrogen. They work for hundreds of thousands of women. But I think we can have a conversation about what doesn't work without having a conversation of why it doesn't work for anybody. Oh, good morning, Michelle. I did not see you there. Good morning, my friend. Everyone's physiology is different, and I think it's important that we can have those conversations because I know how I react to this particular uh, enzyme when I see posts on social media talking about this, this didn't work for me, or when it comes to black girl vitamins or estrogen, I will point out it might just be that you and this particular enzyme don't work. They make other things that might work better for you, or you might just need to go on actual estrogen. Like there are other options that you can do. And it's no different than people who can't take Benadryl, right? Because some people can take Benadryl and it makes them loopy and happy and it clears up their sinuses. For other people, it's life threatening. It's the same thing with Tylenol. It's the same thing with anything. But I think because it's natural and it's mushroom based, the idea is that it's going to be just fine because it's naturally based. Well, so is acetaminophen. Like I remember growing up, my mother has always worked in the medical field, and she would talk about the different drugs that were coming, that were on the market. Tylenol, which used to be called Tylenase, I think, or is derived from something called Tylenol. Anyway, she would always point out like a lot of this stuff comes from a naturally derived source, but it can't be taken by everybody. So we have to be very careful to figure out what each person can take. Even though 90% of folks can take this, not everybody can. And just because we pull it out of nature and distill it in a laboratory and pull certain elements out of it that we then use in medicine doesn't mean that we can take everything. And it's okay to say this doesn't work for you. So I was saying like Black Girl Vitamins Minichill doesn't work for me because it has this thing in it. Y'all, I was getting attacked. People were like, oh my God, don't talk, don't tell people not to use it. I'm not telling people not to use Minichill by Black Girl Vitamins. I am saying it's important to know your body so that when something feels off, you don't just chalk it up to aging or perimenopause. You go, I've been taking this new thing. It's not on the label anywhere that it might cause heart palpitations. It's not on the estrogen. I mean, the estrogen actually does warn against some of the symptoms, but I don't know if the Black Girl Vitamins does. I haven't taken that one. But I think it's important to allow us to have those kinds of conversations, right? Where we can say this doesn't work and here's why it doesn't work for me, and it may not work for you for a similar reason. And just because it says mushroom on the packaging doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing for you. Because what I was saying on the Black Girl Vitamins post was sometimes your body just needs the estrogen. Not a whole lot of it, could be just a low dose of it. But don't rule out the synthetic estrogen, I guess is what we were talking about, in favor of the natural, quote unquote, supplement that could in fact be doing you more harm than good. That was my 2 cents. It was not taken well. And I did not care because I was there to impart some information that I had that I believe would help someone out there. And I do think it will help someone out there to realize that it's not just you. If you can't eat the and drink the or take the mushroom base, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. I have that issue with allergy medicine. Yes. Either makes my heart pound or does nothing. Right. Like that's the Benadryl. Some people can take Benadryl and Allegra and all of those things, and it just does what it's supposed to do. It makes you loopy, but it dries everything out. Some people can't. And it's okay to say, I cannot take that. It's not for everyone. But if you don't know your body, if you don't know how your body normally sits, like your baseline, then when things start to happen, like that estrogen, y'all, I thought I was having either a panic attack or a heart attack. I'm like, what is happening here? And then I realized, oh, I started taking, this is the only new thing in my world is this thing. So I'm going to stop taking that. I called my doctor immediately. I didn't call her, but I just texted her through the app and she was like, stop taking it. We'll talk about it when we come see me in a week. We'll talk about it, what we can do next, right? Like it's just, we got to let people, we have to make a space to have the conversation about how sometimes big pharma isn't out to kill us all. Like some things are really helpful for helping us get through what we're going through, and a supplement might be your biggest enemy. That's why to this day, St. John's wort, huge supplement for some people that people take, has a label on it warning like this contraindicates so many things. You've got to be careful. You can't just walk into the store and grab some St. John's wort. I mean, you can off the shelf and start taking it. Like if you do any research into it, it says flat out, this can hurt you. This can kill you. What do you do? Make sure you know what you're doing. A small amount of CBD with melatonin helps with the brain fog. Yes. Sleep helped me with my brain fog. I was foggy. The early part of 2025, right after January, between just, yeah, it was bad. It was just bad. It was one of the worst things in the world was that brain fog. Um, yeah, it was so bad that I went to my doctor and she's like, you're not sleeping. And I said, no, I'm not. I can't because I also had other symptoms that were preventing me from sleeping. Hang on a minute. Y'all know I'm making some milk to go with my hot chocolate. And I think we do. We have heated. Let me turn that off. Take the milk off the fire because we don't want it to scorch. The brain fog is one of the hardest things that has come along with the perimenopausal journey, right? It's just, I was reading, one woman was talking about how she quit her job. And I'm sure this happens a lot more than we realize, but performance suffers during menopause. Our ability to perform at peak levels suffers immensely because of the brain fog. And we have to keep having these conversations together so that we can help each other understand what's happening and we don't feel so isolated. Because I can imagine being our mothers and our grandmothers and You've gone through so much, and then your body just starts to betray you, and no one is talking. No one's talking about it. No one's having the conversation. So in this space, we're going to have those conversations, and we're going to have it with our black cat cup. We are going to have it with our black cat cup. Good morning. Good morning. Look at y'all are just talking without me. Listen, the not sleeping is the worst. It is by far, for me, the night sweats and the not sleeping. Night sweats and not sleeping. Okay, let me fill the lovely cup. I know we're having the black cat cup today. I've got the mushroom based hot chocolate. Let me add a little honey so I can make the lovely slurry paste, which allows my milk to not clump, which makes me so very happy. I hate clumping hot chocolates. And then we'll keep on having this great conversation. One that I loved having here. Hang on. Brain fog is real, girl. Let me tell you, that brain fog, hang on, y'all. I know I'm clinking down here. Clinking it up. I gotta do the stirry stir. Someone said to me, what do you talk about for 45 minutes? I said, whatever we want to. Whatever comes to mind. We drink, we chat, we hang out. You should try it sometimes. We don't let the world dictate our conversation because we're grown women in transition having a little tea at the start of our week. I think he was a little confused. All right. Let me put some warm milk into my hot chocolate. Give me just a moment. That's lovely. Perfection. All right. Just a moment. I'm still stirring. Give me just a second. It's got to be fresh, right? It's got to be fresh. I could make it ahead of time. Got to be fresh. Patience. Perfect. Now I have to wait for it to cool before I can actually drink any of it. But that's all right. All right. So let me back up to some comments. I quit my job to retire. I wish I could retire. I'm not gonna lie. At this point, honestly, I think women going through perimenopause, honest to God, I think need 2 years paid vacation. Absolutely. Because the amount of change that happens to the female body in such a short amount of time. Like, here's the thing, here's the rub, right? Sorry. This is one of my strange menopausal symptoms. I should do a post about strange menopausal symptoms because there's so many. Is that my hair, which is normally it's thin anyway, it frizzes. Doesn't matter what I use, it frizzes like crazy. The amount of changes that the body goes through right at the beginning of perimenopause, every woman needs like 6 months off, like just to adjust to something that could be happening for years, right? Literally, I think every woman needs like a 2-year paid vacation when they hit like perimenopause. As soon as your estrogen levels hit whatever level they bottom out, right? We've seen that. Like, we've been to our doctors. When they bottom out, your doctor should be able to write a prescription and say, you are now off for the next 2 years. What's your current salary? That's what you're going to get for the next 2 years. And if it's not enough, we're going to bring it up to where we're going to go, right? And because if something can last a decade of your life, a whole decade, and the transition into it is so hard that we are scrambling to put together this patchwork quilt of things to help us get through, then there is no way that we also should then be required to keep the entire world going at the same time. Like, I don't think it's fair and I don't think it's right. And if it happened to men, I think there would be a whole national movement to help men weather perimenopause in its initial stages. Even if they couldn't do it for 10 years, I guarantee you it would be a national movement to help men figure out how to weather it. Instead, women are just expected to endure. Now we know why women would get up and walk out of their houses and not come back. I mean, come on, it's crazy. All right, 2 years of paid vacation. I'll take it. That's right. You know, here's the thing. Hair change, didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. Hair change is one of the symptoms of perimenopause. I have had my entire life a lot of hair, but it's pretty, it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin. I don't have a tight curl when my hair is natural. It's not a tight curl. It's not a loose wave, but it's not a tight curl. The first thing I noticed was my hair texture changing. One of the very first things that made me go, huh, what is happening? So I haven't had a relaxer, a straightener in my hair for 4 years. This is my hair now. I can straighten it with a blow dryer, and that's it. And maybe a flat iron if I'm going somewhere. I've never had hair like that, ever. But that is what my hair is like now. And I went to my doctor. My doctor and I get along really well. I was like, is your hair supposed to change? Like, and she said, as with all of them, right? It's one of the symptoms. It doesn't hit everybody the same, but one of the symptoms of perimenopause is it can change the literal texture of your hair. Ladies, ladies, let's talk about this hair, right? How are you going to change my hair texture and not even buy me a drink? Come on now. Seriously. Bone straight. Yeah, it's crazy. 2 years for menopause symptoms is not a vacation. No, but I think so. In terms of this is a good point. I think because of the sleep disruption and the brain fog, 6 months to a year of just getting your body rest would do wonders for women entering perimenopause. Just wonders, right? They would feel like they weren't losing their minds and still having to contend with the world. And I think it would feel kind of like a vacation in the sense that there would be no pressure to conform to any idealized version of what a woman entering her middle years is supposed to be, right? We would all get a chance to figure out who we are, number one, in this thing that's changing, and we would get a chance to figure out our new rhythm. And that new rhythm would probably save us all if we could do it unencumbered. So that's just my 2 cents though. And I understand that I have grand ideas. I have grand ideas. I went through so much with perimenopause. It happened during COVID. Oh my gosh. Working full time and a caregiver. Listen, 2 years is not enough, but I firmly believe that we need some kind of space that maybe we should start like houses where women can come for 2 years and live in community and help each other. I don't know, just ideas, right? Just ideas out there in the world. But as I've entered this place, I've realized that some of those moments in history where women lived in community together, they might have been onto something. They might have been onto something. Just saying. Just saying. The fact that we as women deal with it and not destroy it is a testament to how amazing we are. But as a student of history as well, we've read many stories about women who just snapped. Oh, she was fine, and then she all of a sudden she just snapped. I wonder how many of those women who just snapped were going through perimenopause. How many women who that one day were just like, you know what, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot. I literally cannot. So I think back through the history books and I think about where were they in their female journey when they just had enough. Just enough. My hair has always been big like Shaka Khan. Oh, I wish I had big hair like Shaka Khan. I would wear it proudly. My hair has never been big. But it's never been like this crazy. But it was, it was luscious and pretty. It was that young hair, but I didn't expect my hair texture to change. I expected many things to happen. My hair texture changing was not one of them. I do too. Oh my gosh, Caroline. I also sometimes get spots where it falls out. In fact, I have one right here. And of course, what's their answer, everyone? It's perimenopause. I don't always, I thought I was getting alopecia. And she's like, no, you don't have alopecia. You don't have alopecia. You don't. She goes, you don't. Mm-mm. Cicely, I keep mine cut low. You've got beautiful hair. I'm every time I look at you, I think I'm gonna cut my hair, and then I realize I don't have your face. I don't have your shape. I'm not gonna look as pretty with no hair. You look gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Um, I lost at least half my hair to stress, but all of my hang on. I lost at least half of my hair, but I attribute it to stress. Yep, that'll do it too. But I think it gets exacerbated during this time of our life too. So so many things happen to us. It's weird how little we know about what's happening to the female body during menopause, because most science is based off male bodies. And so they're trying to catch up. They're trying to catch up. I have heard that there are some doctors who believe that menopause is more of a condition. I don't know if I believe that because it does seem consistent, right? It does seem to consistently hit women regardless of where they live. So I do, it seems, I think if it were a condition, that it would hit women differently and it wouldn't hit all women. But when it's something that seems prevalent, because it seems to hit, like I've studied women from India and I've looked at women in the Middle East, because medicine in other countries is handling menopause very differently than medicine here in the United States. And if you haven't seen, I wrote about some of this in the Global Menopause Guide that I put together. But some countries treat menopause very differently than we treat it here in the States. But my point to this is because it does seem to hit all biological women, regardless of where they're born or what language they speak, that I think it is a natural order of things. I think it's the body's way of shutting down the reproductive cycle in all biological women. That's just what I think. I have heard the theory that it's more of a condition. I don't know that the science is there yet to prove that for me. Just because I just think it hits too many women for it just to be a condition. Now maybe it's a condition of being a biological woman. I don't know, maybe that's something to be explored, but it does appear, at least on the evolutionary chain, to be the natural order for shutting down the reproductive systems. All I know is it could go away. My good friend, a really good friend of mine, got pushed into early menopause because she had to have a surgery. And so we were out to lunch a few months ago talking about this very thing. And she was like, imagine being in your late 30s and all of a sudden you've been pushed into menopause because they had to go in and take some things out because she had some issues. And so, and to know that that could last, it could last for 15 years. Oh, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Okay. All right. So I'm off my menopause high horse. Sorry. I just wanted to talk about the mushroom thing, especially the supplements. I think we have to be very careful. I think supplements that we took when we were not menopausal work differently now that we are menopausal. And that was the whole point I was trying to get to. Sorry if I didn't get there very well. But I think we don't think about all of those little changes that are happening in the body are in fact affecting many more body systems than we realize. And so things that might have worked in our 20s and 30s and early 40s just may not work for us anymore because estrogen is so important for so many more things than we even realize. And the supplements that might have worked when our estrogen was at one level and our progesterone was at that level and we were more balanced, it's just not the same anymore. Just not the same. Uh, yeah, my BS meter is it's going up and down. Let's talk about a party, ladies. We're having a party on Friday. We're having our first annual Bits and Baubles holiday soiree. It is Friday, this coming Black Friday from 5 to 6:30 Central Standard Time. Um, yes, it will be 3 for you. It'll be 3 for you. We are going to hang out, and here is the bonus surprise. So the thought that I had that I'm going to be putting together during the soirees, I'm going to be putting together an inspirational advent calendar. So if you have any inspiring quote or saying that you live by, that you love, please send it to me. In fact, let me drop my email in the comments, and I will put it into one of the advent jars, which I will then start opening live on my channel each day leading up to, did I put it in there? Yep. Each day leading up to the 25th day, since the Advent calendar runs from the 1st of December through the 25th of December. And so each day, I'm going to be during this soiree, I'm going to be decorating these jars, which are currently my old yoga jars because I believe in recycling things. So my old yogurt jars. So we eat yogurt around here. So I'm going to be, during our soiree, I'm going to be decorating our jars, and then I'm going to be filling each one with a inspirational, motivational, peace-loving, joy-filled quote. And starting December 1st, we're going to have an opening each day of a jar to inspire us to get through the holiday season. So I hope that you're going to join me. If you haven't signed up yet, please RSVP so I can know how many I need to make sure I have on the Zoom call. It is a Zoom party. It's not on YouTube Live. Not doing it this way. This would be crazy. But you'll get the Zoom link on Wednesday, so tomorrow, probably not until Thursday. Y'all, I'm not that organized. It's Thanksgiving week and I have dinner. But you will get the link for the Zoom party on Thursday, and we're gonna have a great time. Bring your favorite Christmas snack, your favorite holiday treat, whether that is sweet or savory. Bring your favorite bit and bauble. If you're gonna start trimming your tree, dig out your baubles and show us your pretties. I love the pretties for the holiday season. This is an opportunity. I would love for us to be able to do this every year, but this is our first chance to get together and see each other's faces and talk, which is why we're doing it being via Zoom, where we can all hang out and talk to each other. Let's see. 28 to 31 days, day one, rule number one. Yes, days 2 through 31. See day one. Definitely. Rule number one is going in one of the inspirational jars. Absolutely. And rule number two is also going in one of the inspirational jars, most assuredly. But if you have a saying that you would love to share with the women that we are building community with, that inspires you, that you as you're looking towards 2026, or to get you through the holiday season, or just that you find in your days this really speaks to you, we would love to add it. I would love to add it to our Advent calendar, and then we'll have a complete Advent calendar that we made for ourselves to help us practice rule number one, which is our peace is absolutely, positively non-negotiable. So that's what we're doing on Friday. I hope to see all of you there. If you haven't RSVP'd, let me drop the link because I'm supposed to be more on top of things. I am, I promise. But then there are days like today where I had to work and I'm not always on top of things. But if you haven't had a chance to sign up yet, let's get that in here. All right, there is the link to sign up for an RSVP for the party. So 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, November 28th, Black Friday. Don't let them Black folks Friday stress you out. Come hang out, Zoom only. This is a private party. So you do require an RSVP, so I can send you the link. We're not letting in the trolls. We're not letting in anybody who's going to talk to us about what we should or should not be doing and how we should or should not be feeling. I'm going to throw on some music. Hopefully Zoom doesn't block it. I'm going to throw on some music. We're going to drink some stuff. And I at least, am going to be making an advent calendar. And I'm excited to see all of you there on Friday. So I've already gotten a few RSVPs, actually, not RSVPs. I've already gotten a few quotes from the women who've RSVP'd, from women who've RSVP'd, letting me know what they would like to have included in our advent calendar. I'm so excited. I am wearing my holiday red. You're gonna see me all decked out for our holiday party. Um, for our holiday party, because that morning I'm also running the Life Reimagined Experience workshop that morning for women who are ready to look at 2026 through new, fresh perspective and get their life on track for the next best chapter. It's a busy Black Friday for me, which is why I'm like, we are going to have a good time on Black Friday. So all the noise out there in the system about who should be doing what to whom and where and why and boycott this and don't spend that, that is all important. But for at least an hour and 30 minutes, we're going to play in the land of joy and allow ourselves to support, embrace, and have a little fun. Have a little fun. Oh, finally, if you like listening to my Thursday videos, but you've often wondered if you could just hear the audio without the video because you've got stuff to do, I am now on Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio. So if you like to hear the podcast or the episodes, not the lives yet, but if you like to hear the Thursday videos, the Thursday messages, and you just want to hear them and not see me because you've got stuff to do, you can now listen to me on the go. It's fantastic. I'm so excited that I'm finally out there as an audio file. So please put me on your playlist for your podcast and listen to the show on the go. Oh, I will try to get some of the music. You know, the thing about Zoom is they can get real finicky on licensing and music. So I like to try to slide music into my Zoom. Sometimes Zoom's like, oh, we hear you're playing music. Hmm. So, oh, that's right. The new moon is coming December 19th. Yes, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a good time. Okay, so we have a lot to do, but we also want to give ourselves permission to slow down. If this is your last day of work or your last day of having to get out and do things, and you've got to brave the world, we have to go out in a little bit. Breathe deeply, keep yourself centered and grounded. Remember that you've got some good plans this week to hang out with some fantastic ladies on Friday. Make sure you are good to yourself this week. There's a lot of noise right now, a lot of noise in the ether. And because it can get overwhelming, I just want you to remember that you've got a safe place to call home here with us. Have a lovely and fantastic week. If I don't see you on Friday, I'll be back next Tuesday. We'll be right back at it, doing our thing, hanging out, carving space in a crazy season. That is our job. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having a drink with me as I'm downing my hot cocoa that's now nice. I can actually drink it. Thanks for sharing in the conversation with us about things that are really important to women of a certain age that we don't all of the time get a chance to talk about because we've got so many other discussions that we're required to have. So thank you, ladies. I'm going to head out. You have a great day. I will see you on Friday. If I don't see you on Friday, I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great holiday and happy Thanksgiving.